Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network Hot Take. If you haven't seen a hot take before, well, it's where a few friends get in a basement, give our thoughts, give our opinions on a TV show, movie, or a game, but we're not doing any of that today. Today, we're talking about the PlayStation 5 at launch. We're going to be reviewing, as usual, I'm Anthony Ragucci, and joining me, Delaware County's own Tom DeFulvio.
Thank you
the
for
biggest
having me.
Uncharted fan around.
Well, that goes without saying.
Oh, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Scheduling now these days because of COVID and shit is frustrating. So
Definitely.
Yeah. So first, let's start it off by, because I actually don't know.
All right.
How did you get your PlayStation 5? How hard was it for you to acquire one?
I was right on top of it the
As was I.
second it got put up. So they had that what do they do, a launch video or something?
Yeah, that's
and it said they're yeah, we're gonna pre-orders are going live tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and I was like, okay, sick. And then immediately an hour later the pre-orders were live.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
With me, where I was like, dude, this is I don't know if you saw what I was saying.
So
but,
I'm freaking out.
This is fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
I was they gave us a date and then they're just 2 hours
It's
later.
unbelievable. They're
Crazy.
yeah, it's coming. They didn't even give any notice.
Right.
It was crazy. You thought they were being honest. They're yeah, it's coming out tomorrow.
And that was my big gripe with Sony. I was just they fuck this up already.
And dude, it went live on Best Buy. Best Buy was the first one, and probably Walmart was doing it too.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get it on Best Buy because I've been ordering a lot of Blu-rays off of there and stuff because they're pretty good with stuff like that. They're basically Amazon, but sometimes you can find better movies on Best Buy's website and
oh really?
You know,
Okay.
get you can get steel books for games on there really easily and stuff.
Oh really? Okay, I didn't know that.
So yeah, I went there first and immediately you can't even click the button, and I'm just okay, what is this? You're telling me that it's going this fast. So
Yes.
dude, I was freaking out. I was freaking out.
Yeah.
How am I gonna get? I'm checking everything, checking Walmart, all these websites, Amazon. Went out.
While we're going down this timeline, I'm exactly like you. It goes live, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, what
Right.
the fuck is going on? And it's just are they going up? Should
so
I sit here and wait on the internet?
Yeah.
Is it just one retailer being early, which it kind of was, but then every other retailer slowly kind of fell suit and released theirs too.
Right.
And yeah, I ended up getting mine that night, 11:55.
Same. So
on
did I.
Amazon, pre-ordered, done.
I got mine on GameStop.
Really?
So I was yeah, I didn't get the Amazon one. It all went to shit, and I'm freaking out. So I'm surfing the internet and stuff. And it's I don't know if I was surfing NeoGaf or something. And people are rumor has it that GameStop's putting up the pre-orders.
I think the next day I remember hearing that.
And I was oh shit. So then I jumped right on that. And even on GameStop, all of the base packages were gone. You couldn't just buy the console.
Oh, did you get
I bought the bundle.
I remember
for
this.
$750.
We had this conversation when it first happened. So
Yeah.
what bundle did you get?
So it was gonna come with. It comes with Miles Morales.
Okay.
It was coming with that Battle Royale All-Star Destruction Derby thing.
Yeah.
Which then turned free, so they took that away.
Really? They took
Yeah.
it out of the bundle?
Yeah, it's just not in the bundle because it's free now.
Yeah, it's just not there anymore.
Luckily they reduced the price. I
Price.
think it went down to 500 or something. It went down to normal.
I was going to say, that's
a
not,
normal
that's not
level.
too bad.
I thought it was gonna come with the stand to put the two DualShocks on.
Yeah, I've
but
seen
for some
that.
reason it didn't. I swear that was in there and it just didn't come. And then I got two DualShocks because they give you an extra one. So and one comes with a console. So I have two controllers, which is very helpful.
Yeah, which I do not.
Yeah.
So eventually I will have to. How much are the DualShocks? Do you know?
They're probably $60, unless they
I would
raise them
say
to
they're-
70.
I was
the
gonna say
games.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were 75.
That'd be insane, dude.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
put it past them.
The DualSense. DualSense.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
DualSense. Yeah, we're no longer on the shop.
I was looking up the other day. I was looking up how to plug in the DualSense into my PC. I'm DualShock, DualShock.
Can you?
Yeah.
Really, it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the Xbox
Yeah.
controller.
Oh
works,
yeah, just it goes right through Steam.
Oh, that's cool.
Steam has full controller support for pretty much any controller now.
I always thought there was an issue with Sony's controllers. I know Xbox never had an issue.
The biggest issue was that the DualShock 4 had the micro USB, and every time you try to play with it plugged in, it's like jiggling. You pull it too hard, it jiggles out, and then you have like the computer going like and I'm like, fuck, like trying to play the game. I'm like running 1 second, then my guy dies. It's like. So now that
I actually didn't even think of it like that.
Yeah, well now it has USB-C, and those things are really secure. So
yeah,
it plugs right in there.
My phone has it.
I was playing with it for like 4 hours the other day on Hell Let Loose on PC, and dude, like,
what's great
works
is,
great.
I mean, like, I'm using the base wire. It's hanging right there.
Right.
But
Sure,
silence your phone.
silent.
Always
Yeah,
forget.
it's
No, it's okay. Yeah, so I have the base one in there. Like, it's kind of short, but like if I really wanted to, I could get like my charger that's like 10
Yeah,
foot.
right,
But like
right.
usually I don't play with it charging. Like I try to let it charge when I'm not playing, just out of
And then
habit.
speaking of charging, I don't know if you had this, but I had a like day one issue with the charging
I think I know where you're going.
where
but
the
continue.
front USB port wouldn't
Yep.
charge the controller.
I had the same
in rest
issue.
mode.
And I found out through a setting, there's a setting that shuts off the USBs when it's in rest.
Yes.
And I'm like, why is that? Why
well,
is that on default?
Yeah, there's that setting, but then you can switch it to always on.
Yeah.
And I switched it to that, and it still wouldn't charge it.
See, now that I have it like this, which if you're watching video is out of shot, I'm pointing to my PlayStation 5. I feel like the USB is kind of like ugly sticking out there, and now that I have enough room, like, okay, I could just put it on the side,
Right.
doesn't matter. But when I had it laying down in the entertainment stand, I did have to move it to the back, and I'm like, this is annoying.
Yeah, that's what I had to
now
keep doing
I
that.
definitely can't play
But
with it
luckily
plugged
they patched that, so it's no longer an issue.
in. They fixed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I was like crazy. I was like, dude, what am I?
I was
insane?
like, yeah, I like
yeah,
day
I'm like
two, I was
switching
like,
the thing.
controller's dead.
Yeah.
How? Was it not like
I was
plugged
loving
in?
that. I was like, dude.
And then I
what?
Googled it, and I'm like, oh, a lot of people are having this issue.
I didn't see that. I thought I was like the only person.
No, it was a big,
Thank God.
big fucking error because like a bunch of people were having the same issue, and it's like, oh, the fix is plugging in the back and it works. I'm like, okay, we'll just do that for now. Hopefully they come out with a fix, which apparently they did.
Yeah, they did. It
So,
was pretty fast too. It
that's
was only
good.
a couple days in.
So let's backtrack a little bit. How was the shipping? Did your console get to you fast, or did you pick it up? I assume it just shipped to you, right?
It got to me. I'm trying to think of it. I think it came when it was supposed to like get there. No, it came a day late.
Really?
Yeah,
Fuck.
from GameStop. Came 1 day late. So my friend Phil's telling me that you can. He ordered one of his from GameStop, or his Xbox or something, and he's saying like, yeah, they're telling me that I could pay $18 to guarantee same day delivery. So I call up GameStop.
Yo.
And I'm like, hello, I want to pay you $18 to get this here on launch
I will
day.
pay you under the table.
Of course, GameStop has employees that you just can't understand what they're saying. They don't understand what you're asking, so they just say yes, yes, and I'm like, okay. And then it just did like nothing came of it. They're like, if it doesn't show up, you like call us again. I was like, great.
Well, I
So,
figured since it's not through the store, they wouldn't even handle that.
it was just weird.
Because
So-
I like once you go on the website, it has nothing to do with the store,
Right.
unless you like have it. I think you can like get things from your.
well, no,
local
I called
GameStop.
like GameStop corporate
Oh,
headquarters.
you talked to corporate.
and the people who handle the phones. You can't understand each other.
You know, I had an issue when I
like
pre-ordered. I
literally
pre-ordered
every-
Death Stranding from there,
Yeah.
and I'm like sitting there. I'm like waiting. Like I got a collector's edition, and I'm like, are they gonna send me any sort of information? Like I called them. I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, like it
Yeah.
says I have it, but like there's no like shipping. There's no order information. I have a number, but like there's nothing here. So I pre-ordered a second one. I got 2 Death Stranding
God.
collector's editions.
Oh
I ended
my
up just
God.
giving one to a friend, and he like paid me, you know,
Yeah.
exact for it. I didn't really
That's
care, but I was
hilarious.
just like, I was worried, man. It's just like, and I called them, and they like had no answer for me, and I'm just like, what do you
Yeah,
mean?
They
I was
don't
like,
they don't help you at all. Like
and-
their help department.
and she's like,
sucks.
yeah, like it's it's like in process, like it's definitely there, but like I can't really do anything for you. I'm like, what do you mean, man? I was like, can't you just like update it, like so like the order actually comes up? Thanks, computer speaker.
That's the noise you get, by the way, every time your controller unplugs.
Yeah,
It's
it
great.
telling you, yeah.
Yeah.
But Amazon really pulled it in clutch for me. So I got it on launch day, the Thursday.
I think so.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Or Thursday or Friday, whatever. And it came early.
Oh, that's so.
So
sick. Yeah, I would have been freaking out.
it was
if that
like
happened.
like 4 to 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. I got work. Like if it's gonna get here early, I'm gonna be distracted. It got here 11 a.m. That's like rare for a package to come that early.
Yeah.
So either Amazon was like on top of it that day. You know what? Ironically, happened. My work was doing like a virtual brewing tour. So if you signed up, they sent you beer.
Right.
So I'm working, and my mom's like, Anthony, you have to come sign for something, and I'm like, okay. like usually they just,
So they made you sign for it.
well, what came was my PlayStation and the beer.
Oh,
So
wow.
you have to be
Right,
obviously
right,
21 to drink.
right.
So like that's what they needed me to sign or like an ID
Yeah.
for. And I was like, oh, they're really taking this seriously with the PlayStation. I was like, oh no, it's the alcohol. I was like, maybe this is why my PlayStation got delivered early because my work like
Yeah, that's
sent that to me.
That's
like,
what they were telling me. Like on GameStop, they're like, "Yeah, you have to sign for like the FedEx package."
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. It's an expensive item.
And
you know?
every time they tell me this, then I
never
start.
do.
Yeah, they never do. I start freaking out. I'm like, dude, am I gonna have to like be home and sign for this? I'm like telling my dad.
they're
He's
gonna
like,
take
You're
it?
going to work. You're not staying home. Sign for a PlayStation. I was like,
Dad.
I'm not like they're gonna like send it back because it's actually happened to me before with
Oh
other
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. They won't leave it. They'll take it.
Yeah,
and they'll be
and
like,
it's the
we'll come
worst.
to
It's the
you.
worst experience. You have to like wait an extra day for them to come back.
Yeah, and then be like,
again.
we'll be back, and it's just like,
Yeah,
well,
and then
will you
yeah.
though?
And the FedEx driver shows up and just like drops it, like he like hands it to me.
He
and I was
throws
like,
it.
"All right."
He above
Yeah, like,
head throws your.
They
Xbox
tell you
or
that
your
you're supposed to
PlayStation
sign, but the
at you.
drivers like never care that you signed the package.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
weird.
But okay, that's interesting. I thought it was gonna get fucked over real hard. I was like, because
Yeah.
Amazon like the second day was like, all right, guys,
Oh,
you may
God.
not get it on launch, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I
well,
hope
some
you're
people
just
had-
sending that. Like,
some people got like canceled their orders and shit.
I mean, there were tons of stories of
it's horrible.
orders getting canceled, things coming late. I wasn't one of those people.
And if you weren't on it day one, now you just can't get one.
right,
It's like
and
literally impossible.
I didn't know when I was going to want to bring it up, but I did want to bring it up. It's like if you're a parent or somebody trying to buy a console for like somebody or like your kid, you're fucked.
Oh yeah.
I don't understand. Like
There's no way the parents are gonna be able to do that.
like they haven't made any announcements that they're releasing a bunch for the holidays. Like they kind of said they were, but they haven't recently. And I'm just kind of like, wow, man. If I was a kid, like you know, when the 360 came out, I got it for Christmas. If I was a kid right now, like you're gonna get disappointed,
like,
man.
why isn't Sony just selling them on their website?
I think COVID really has something to do with the production level of this. I really think it affected it, and they're not really saying like they mentioned that COVID was going to
Well,
affect.
I'm sure
the
it has
process.
because it's all their parts are coming from China.
Right.
So if China's not like going full tilt, like they're not making.
I don't even know how it's doing over there. You know,
I think they're back. I
I feel like everyone's back except us.
Like,
Well,
yeah,
now
like-
we're back.
Well, Europe's like going like down the tubes, or apparently, but
Europe
again-
locked down in like October.
and now they're locking down California and like the West Coast.
Oh, great.
So,
Yeah.
but like,
Yippee.
but yeah, I mean, so China's the epicenter, and all the parts are coming from China. So if they're not going full tilt, then they're not manufacturing like the parts at the pace that they need to be.
And it's just crazy.
then
It's
you-
like
of
so,
course-
so when is it like when are the consoles going to be available? Because I guess if like I'll make a statement. That's I guess one thing that like both on the Xbox side and PlayStation side, like you can't get these fucking things.
It's
we
so
we were
weird.
really lucky that like we were on top of it.
Yeah.
We cared enough to like if you
Yeah.
weren't on top of it and you weren't trying, you didn't get one. And like that's what
Dude,
that's what I've been saying.
I would have been like freaking out if I couldn't get one by now.
Right, like
'Cause-
Trio didn't get one. He doesn't have
Yeah.
any next gen stuff, and it's like,
horrible.
and not that I have a conversation with him, but I told him it's like, yeah, man, like you definitely weren't like trying at the beginning.
Yeah, you had to like literally be on it. 'Cause
Yeah.
this happened to me with PS4,
Okay.
where like I wasn't on top of it because like I don't think I was, I was like into my PS3, but I wasn't like, oh shit, here comes the PS4. Like I wasn't like dead on top of it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's coming out. That's cool. I'm gonna like buy one like when it launches. But I had no idea that they
Right.
sell out like immediately. So I had to buy like a ticket. I had to buy like back then they were giving like tickets out for Target.
So
And I bought one on eBay.
when I got my Xbox One, I was on a wait list at GameStop up the street, and they like I was like in between classes at school. Hey, we have one. We will put it aside for you today only.
Right.
Come pre-order it right after class on my way home. fucking pre-ordered that shit, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
But like I was on the wait list for like a month. Like it wasn't like I went in and like 2 days later they had them. But like that wasn't a thing with these consoles. I think like
No,
most
it's very
GameStops got
weird.
like fucking 2 units. It's like what?
Dude, I found a video of the Springfield Mall Target.
Really?
Yeah. There's like 50 people lined up outside the door.
Oh
they're,
no,
and
I
they're
saw
getting
that.
mad. They're getting mad because there was only 2 consoles
Right.
in the entire
But like
store.
that information was like out there. You know, it's weird that people would line up. It's like that information.
Yeah, but
was
like I don't know if GameStop's necessarily like putting that out there. I don't know if they're saying like, yeah, we only have 2. They're literally saying like line up, and we have PlayStations coming in.
I think people were lining
And then
up.
the
at
people
most
get in line,
GameStops.
and they're like, sorry, we only have 2 of them. They're gone.
Yeah.
And they're what do you mean we're gone? Like we stood here for 2 days or like whatever.
So I pre-ordered my games at GameStop, and I went to pick them up, and I think they called me earlier, like sometimes they do, and I'm like, I'm just picking up games, and I'm like, are you guys opening normal time? Like, what's the deal? And they're like, well, if you're getting a console, which it doesn't sound like you are, you know, you have to line up, and it's like if you pre-order, but still, like, and it's just like by the time I got there around 12, nobody was there. I went in, got my games, and I left. It was quick and easy and in and out.
That's sick.
But all right, you set it up. What have you been playing? New and I guess not new.
So I basically what I use it for at the moment. I call it the PS4 Super Pro because I mean there's like 2 next gen games. Like if you don't buy like Spider-Man, you're
And
not
Demon
buying
Souls.
yeah, and Demon Souls, like you don't have a PS5 game basically.
Yeah.
But playing the PS4 games is like unbelievable on it.
It's funny.
The ones that have like unlocked frame rates and stuff.
It's funny I haven't played besides one. So a Kingdom Hearts rhythm game, you know.
rhythm
This
game?
is where you snicker at
Dude.
me. Just let me finish.
What?
The Kingdom Hearts rhythm game came out for PS4 the day the PS5 came out, so I have it on PS4, but I'm playing on PS5. I can't tell if it's like better or not. I don't think it is because I don't know if you've noticed, like your PlayStation 5 plays the PS4 version of the game,
Right.
which I think kind of sucks because like I'm not sure. Like you play, I know when you're playing Uncharted, and it's like this is what I do with my next gen machine. I play fucking Uncharted collection,
Right.
But are those games like better looking? Like are they faster? Like because it seems like
So,
they're playing the PS4 version.
There's like 2 ways to do it. If you have your PS4 games plugged into like an external SSD,
which I don't.
they're not going to run faster.
Okay.
They run like the PS4.
Okay.
You have to install them onto the PlayStation 5's hard drive
Right.
in order to get like decreased loading times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you play like, I was playing like Uncharted 1, like Nathan Drake collection. You know, it's 60 frames. It's like locked at 60 frames. So, any stutters or any like texture glitches or anything, it's pretty much gone. Like you're just not having that issue. That game specifically already loaded very fast.
Right.
On PS4 Pro.
It's a PS3 game.
So now it's like friggin' instant. And like
Right.
a lot of the games really the biggest thing is playing Days Gone on PS5.
How's that been?
That like dude, that game had such long loading times.
And it's better?
Yeah, it's a lot better.
So-
There's still some loading times there. It's not instant, but they're literally cut in half.
So I've been basically just playing the new games I got. So Miles Morales, me and Trio did a full review. If you want to like get my full opinion on it, look at there. But that game runs awesome. Load
Yeah, that
times are
game's
not
sick.
existent. 60.
Right.
Have you been playing Miles Morales?
Yeah, I
Okay,
beat it,
yeah.
yeah.
So the web swinging is like fucking phenomenal.
When you're
Like,
playing in 60, it's unbelievable.
oh, it's like I'm like this is like Miles Morales is like one of those games. It's like, yeah, if you get a PlayStation 5, you should just get Miles Morales. Because $50, it's not too expensive. But like
Right.
I think it really displays like next gen well if you're going between fidelity and performance. The 60 FPS web swinging is like it's better
it's
than
like
sex.
butter.
Yeah,
It's literally
it's
like
so
buttery
good.
smooth. It's
Yeah.
so sick.
And then once you switch to performance, like you lose the FPS, but the game looks awesome. But like once you switch back to the 60, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, look at this.
Yeah, you don't really want to switch back and forth too much because like you might like hurt your eyes. Like when I do that, I'm like, yeah, you kind of get like a little headache when it goes back to like 30.
When
it's
you go up frames, you really notice.
yeah, that's like
when
crazy.
you go down, not so much, because I had Trio over and I was like, yeah, let's try it out. So we switched it over to fidelity,
Right.
and it's like, okay, like didn't really notice much. Like the ray tracing, I can definitely tell, but then we switched it back, and it's like, whoa, and we both like, whoa, like
Yeah,
you
I was
start
like
swinging, like
it's so sick.
it's so noticeable.
Like I was switching back and forth a lot, but I played through most of it on fidelity mode. Like
yeah, same.
You know,
No, other way around.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the ray tracing looks so good when you, especially there's like specific levels like towards the end of the game where you're indoors, and like everything's reflective.
And that's what I think next gen is kind of about. Like is like the graphics are like kind of the same, but like the lighting is more pronounced with the games now on
I just hope every
systems.
game has like an option between performance and fidelity.
I think you'll see that a lot, maybe for the next 3 years.
You're definitely getting that in Horizon Forbidden West.
You're definitely gonna get that in Cyberpunk.
I hope so.
Even though that's technically a last generation game, but like what sucks is like the next gen edition isn't out at release, which is like because that's the game that everyone's gonna be getting.
What? Yeah, that's so weird why they're doing that.
You know, it kind of sucks they delayed it because then they really had to deal with we're launching a last generation game on a next generation console.
Right.
They kind of fucked themselves.
I also just can't believe like Sony didn't like get on top of the ball at like Naughty Dog and patch Last of Us 2 for like the launch.
Are they? Or did they?
I think they're definitely gonna patch it, but
no. Did Naughty Dog patch Last of Us 2?
No.
I don't think any of these companies did though, because I just don't think they were like, I don't know, like
no,
especially for PlayStation.
No, Ghost of Tsushima, Sucker Punch did it with Ghost of Tsushima,
which I haven't played yet,
and Sony Bend did it with Days Gone, and they're both fucking unbelievable. Okay. They're literally PS5 games.
Yeah,
they're like better than the PS5 games. They're so sick. They both run at 60 frames, like locked.
There must be like an issue. I couldn't imagine like some studios like being like, oh, okay, maybe they like prepped it. Maybe they really were just like, because like imagine they're doing Legends and this.
Why did they do Ghost of Tsushima, but not get on top of Naughty Dog and they're like patch your game, dude? But I think they're gonna patch Last of Us 2 when they announce the factions mode, like the multiplayer.
You think that's still a thing?
Oh yeah.
I'm hearing a lot of rumors that it's canceled.
Really?
A lot of rumors, yeah. And I wouldn't put it past them.
Well, if that's the case, then they just cancel that and then like patch the single player.
Right. I liked factions from Last of Us, but it's like, does anyone really like people want it, but like, do we need it?
Yeah, but it's not. There's no way it's gonna be the same as the first one. I'm like ballparking like it's gonna be like completely different. I think it's gonna be like semi-open world, like DayZ type thing.
You know, I actually never looked at it at that perspective. It is something vastly different. I think I'll be into it. I liked factions from the original Last of Us. I played a lot of it to get the platinum. I didn't play with any friends.
I didn't like how long it took to kill people with some of the guns.
Yeah, like they were clearly,
you keep shooting them, they just wouldn't die.
They were clearly better guns than others. Yeah. Like that multiplayer mode was like kind of came out.
But it was cool. Like you craft
every game had a multiplayer mode. Right. Like that's kind of like where that
was more or less like a. It was kind of like a tacked on mode. It's like how Naughty Dog's multiplayer games always are.
Yeah. I never played like Uncharted.
Dude, Uncharted 4. Dude, their best multiplayer that they made was Uncharted 2 multiplayer. Mm-hmm. It was absolutely 120% tacked on, and it was the best fucking like multiplayer.
Did you like 4s?
No, it sucks.
Yeah.
No, 2s was so much fun.
I played it for trophies.
In Uncharted 2, every single person spawned with an AK-47. So everyone had the same gun. And there was only two or three other guns that you could pick up around the map. It was playing like old.
So it wasn't loadouts; it was pickups.
Yeah, it was playing like James Bond on PS2.
Right.
And like Nightfire or something. So you had like run around. You're like, oh, I know the grenade launcher spawns on top of that tower. Let me go up there and get that and like dominate.
Yeah, like Halo.
It was really fun and like just silly.
Right.
And then of course they did Uncharted 3 and they had to add like the perk system like Call of Duty and then and now Uncharted 4.
I don't like this.
Uncharted 4's get the kill streaks.
It's too complicated.
It's like third person Call of Duty ripoff and it takes too long to shoot people.
So another game I did get to was Demon's Souls. Demon's Souls has been awesome. I beat that the other day. Hopefully we're gonna review that. I'm not too sure yet. But Demon's Souls has been cool. Do you play any of the Souls games?
I haven't played that, no.
Okay.
Does that have like a performance and fidelity mode? Or is it just pure 60
Does
like
it?
the next gen.
Yes, it does. And so I have it on like the frames one, the performance,
Right.
and I turned it on the fidelity, chugged hard, and I was like, oh, I was just like off like immediately, and I was like, it's a remaster, so like I don't really know if that had anything to do
Was
with
it
it.
chugging like it's like it's like fucking like not working?
It was like the frames just like dipped hard, so it must be capped at 60, and it must have dipped to maybe like 20 or 30.
Dude.
And like I wasn't in an area with a lot of shit, but like I was just like, yeah, this game needs to be fast. That's why a lot of people
you think it's capped
Bloodborne.
you think it's capped at 60 on fidelity mode, like with
No, it's capped at 60 on
performance,
mode.
right? And then they probably capped it at 30 on fidelity.
Yeah, but like it dipped enough, and I started moving around, and I felt like
I know. I had that.
Time was like slowing down.
I had that exact same experience with the game Observer System Redux,
Okay.
where you're like the sci-fi cop.
Yeah, I know what it is.
That game's kind of cool.
Horror game came out like 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's like remastered.
Yeah.
And it's really sick. Like you're in like a, it's kind of like stupid because I thought you were gonna be able to like,
Kinda like stupid.
I thought you were gonna be able to like walk around like a city or something. You know, kind of like
Yeah.
L.A. Noirs.
All those
esque or
horror
something.
games are kind of like.
But you're
on
kind of
rails.
like you're just confined to an apartment complex that's multiple stories.
Oh, okay.
So you can go outside in the little courtyard and it's raining and it like looks like cyberpunk outside. And I was like, can I go over there, please? Like out in the city, but like,
What's over there?
yeah, no, there's a wall. You like can't get past it. But it's locked at like 60 frames and it runs so smooth. But if you turn on ray traced mode, the PlayStation like can't handle it. And I don't know if they just released a patch for it.
It might just be unstable.
I don't know if it's like necessarily optimized yet because they
Right.
just a patch just came out. I haven't tried it since the patch, but I switched it to ray tracing and it was literally chugging. It was like it dropped to like 20 frames.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god,
I
it's
would
like hurting my head.
I would chalk it up to like it essentially is like, yeah, this stuff isn't like some of those games probably
Yeah.
aren't optimized
yeah, right.
yet.
That game's more of like a PC game that they ported.
Right. I mean, it's a last generation game. It's a smaller game by a smaller
Right.
studio. I guess you can kind of expect that, like maybe, like they're
I
not gonna
hope
get
the
it right
patch fix it because I want to
the
like
first time.
because the ray tracing looks so good in that game because everything's neon and there's like puddles on the ground and stuff.
I mean, you kind of mentioned it before. I wanted to go back to it. Like the PlayStation 5 doesn't have that many games. I will kind of. I don't think it doesn't have that many games because compared to the Xbox, there's really
Right.
like PlayStation 5 has some like good launch titles. Demon Souls, Miles Morales. I'm not sure if you played Astro Playroom.
I have, yeah.
I heard it's pretty cool.
That game's really cool.
It's like a
yeah.
pretty cool game tech demo that like
It's
nobody expected anything
it's such
from.
a sick tech demo.
Yeah.
Like it's so
I gotta play it.
It's so funny because like the second you boot it up, you're getting like every PlayStation like
Yeah.
artifact shoved in your face, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It just gives you like ultimate nostalgia for the PlayStation brand.
And then there's Sackboy Adventure, which is a like Little Big Planet.
Yeah, I haven't played that.
platformer.
That's basically like Astrobot's like a ripoff of that game. That game's like more of like it's like a advanced version of Astrobot.
Yeah, and then there's
it's
Bug
probably-
Snacks.
Yeah, I haven't played Bugsnax. I kind
Did
of
you
want to
get
play
it?
that. Yeah, I haven't. Like I think I got it for
'Cause it was-
free.
Yeah, it was free last month.
And
Yeah.
then, but I haven't played it though.
Yeah, I for a rainy day. I'm not gonna get
Yeah,
around to it
like-
just yet. But like,
I feel like I would like that game. Apparently, the ending's like fucked up or something. so
yeah,
I don't know.
I heard it gets pretty
like
dark.
people are like, yeah, this game's not for kids. I don't know why they're letting their kids play it.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
there are games.
There's
like-
also Call of Duty.
Right.
Black
Have you
Ops.
been playing Cold War?
Yeah, I played it. Yeah, I played a good amount.
What do you think? We don't get, and I'll tell you this: like, I don't play any Call of Duty,
Right.
and most of the people that like Trio doesn't. So like, I'm actually interested to hear about the Call of Duty this year because like we never talk about
Yeah,
it on
right.
the podcast.
It is pretty interesting. Like I primarily buy them for the single player.
Right.
Unlike most,
I know
everybody
you.
buys it
That's-
for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I buy them for the single player, and because I want to like give them my judgment and tell them if it's shit or not. So like every year they like convince me not to buy it, and then somehow I end up buying it anyway. And
Was it good?
it was like decent. It was like middle of the road.
Does it really play off Black Ops 1?
Like kind of. There's like the characters are in it, and it's like
Right.
the story's pretty bad. Like it's like it's literally like all I'll say. It's like without spoiling it. It's kind of a spoiler. Like it's like Black Ops 1, but in like reverse. Like it's like Black Ops 1. You like don't want to know. Like don't even play it. It's like Black Ops 1, but like the Soviets are like the good guys this time. It's like so
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
They put America in a bad light?
Like they always do. They love doing that. So like
Yeah.
that's like the new thing. Like
It's like
America's
I'm-
the bad guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's some really sick missions in it, dude. There's one mission where you go in like KGB headquarters, and there's like a
The fucking Kremlin?
it's like, dude, you get to meet Gorbachev.
Really?
He's like sitting next to you. He's like, "What do you think of this like situation?" And you can
Are
like,
you a
there's,
Russian
like,
or are you
dialogue
American?
tree. Yeah, you're like an undercover Russian, and you're like talking to Gorbachev. You're like undercover working for the Americans, like sneaking them into the headquarters,
That's awesome.
and it's really sick. Like, and then there's like there's literally like it's kind of like an Easter egg, but you don't go out of your way. It's like part of the game. You get in an elevator and put on like fucking masks, and you literally do like no Russian from Modern Warfare 2, but in KGB headquarters. Like you come out of that, he's like no Russians, and he like opens the elevator.
Wait, really? He
door.
says that?
I don't know if he says that, but like you're in the elevator. He's like, all right, remember, nobody's left alive in here, or something like that. And you
And
put
he's
on
like,
like the fucking
The
hazmat mask, like,
PTSD.
and like it's like ping, and you throw like a bomb out, and there's like 100 Russians, and you're just like hosing them with the LMG like through the headquarters. It's so cool. That mission's really cool, but like. Yeah, the game's the campaign's middle of the road. It's really cool. It has ray traced
I was
shadows.
going to say,
in
how
it.
does it run?
Oh, it runs great.
Okay, cool.
It's like you can run it at 120 frames a second if your TV has
mine
HDMI
doesn't.
2.1,
Yeah.
which I don't have that either.
I think most people don't. Xbox has a little thing. You go into the settings and it tells you what your TV can do and can't, which is awesome. I don't think PlayStation has that.
Right.
And I was just like, oh, I have to do cap 60. But again, that's kind of like the thing. It's like, well, what percentages of people have 4K TVs? They're probably not buying the fucking $2,000 one. That's an $800 4K TV. Like
Yeah.
it's a Samsung OLED. It's not the QLED from LG, which is like the $1,000 plus like
Right.
top of the
No,
market.
I'll tell you right now,
stuff.
don't buy a QLED. Don't buy any fucking LEDs. Buy an OLED, and you'll never want to go buy an LED TV ever again. OLEDs are the best. And
I'm not disappointed with that TV at all.
yeah, you should be.
And the thing was, I went in there and I'm like, I don't want to spend more than $1,000
Right.
on a TV right
Like,
now. Maybe in a few years we'll get there, but
the OLEDs from like any company are like always the best things that they're the best TVs you can buy because the pixels, they're organic, so they shut off. So if you're in like a deep black environment, if you're in like shadows, the pixels shut off. So instead of projecting the color black, they
They're just
project nothing. They're
nothing.
just off. So you get pure black.
interesting.
So like when you're in like dark spaces and stuff,
I
it's,
did
like,
some
actual
research on it
shadows.
before I didn't just go out and buy that thing.
Yeah.
Like I did some research, but you know, I'm not well versed in TV
Right.
like it's funny, like you can get into the weeds of TVs now.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't
definitely.
even realize it and I was like, wow, like yeah, it's not just like brand, like it's like really
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Well,
differences.
there's a lot of new like there's a Samsung like like the QLEDs and stuff like they they claim that they're like better than OLED, but they're not.
yeah, the
OLED's like always the
QLED.
best, and I'll say like LG is like the best OLED brand. I have an LG OLED. It's an E8.
Oh wait, sorry. It's not a Samsung OLED. It's a Samsung QLED. LG is the OLED. Sorry.
Yeah, but I think Samsung does make OLEDs. They might. I'm pretty sure.
That's a QLED.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the LG OLEDs are like so good. Like if you ever buy one of those, like you'll just never want to go back.
Yeah, that's what I hear, but I just like I wasn't willing to spend
They're
the
so
money.
sick. But yeah, I bought mine like on sale from like Micro Center or something. They like shipped it to my house. It was like
I got mine
crazy.
from Best Buy.
Yeah, but anyway, my TV is like the previous generation, so it's an E8. And then like everybody's buying like the C9 and the CX. Like apparently the CX, which is like I guess the 10 generation, is like going on sale now. So everyone's like buy the CX because it has HDMI 2.1. You can do 120
and
frames.
it's the cheapest, right?
Yeah, it's like going on sale and
not bad.
yeah. But I'm like behind the curve on that because I bought mine like not like last year, like a year.
This
and a half
is
ago.
going on 2 years.
Yeah. I think I had mine for maybe 2 years or something.
Yeah, it was a good purchase. I don't regret it. But
I don't-
now it's just like, oh, really?
Yeah,
I gotta get a new TV to play 120 frames. Fucking
Yeah,
A,
but
man.
I don't think a lot of games are gonna be like really doing that.
Right, and that I was talking to my boss about that, and I was just like, because like he said the same thing. It's like, oh, now I gotta go get a new TV. I'm like, not necessarily. It's like not all these new games. Trust me, are going to be pumping
Right.
out graphics at 120 frames. It's just not gonna happen. Maybe your Uncharted will, or like your older games, but like you're not gonna gonna get these
Dude,
games
I
that are
hope,
gonna
dude.
tax your TV. Just
Oh,
yet.
dude, if Uncharted did 120, that's immediately new TV purchase. Like, a new TV would
Replay
be my
the whole
house like the
series.
second that got announced.
How's the multiplayer though? Have you touched
In
it
Black
at all?
Ops, it's pretty cool. It's like standard. It literally feels nothing like Modern Warfare. Like I think
Really?
Modern Warfare was like a step up.
It's
you
funny.
played
I
that.
really am uneducated on like the differences between the games nowadays because I don't play them. And
Yeah, right.
I feel like a lot of people get them, but like I don't know. I feel like my friends and maybe you know where our groups intermingle. Like I don't know anybody who's like a diehard Call of. Well, I know a few, but like they're not like like they're gamers. They play games, but like they
Yeah.
get the Call of Duty every year. And
Most people who play Call of Duty are like casual gamers.
right.
They're
That's
not.
that's what I was.
They're
getting
not
at.
going out of their way to like hunt for PlayStation
Like,
exclusives and
does
stuff.
Phil play Call of Duty?
Yeah, more or less. Like, yeah, more or less.
Because I don't think I've ever heard her talk about it per se. Like at least recently.
We usually get like the friend group together and we like all play together, but we
Right.
like especially me and Phil, like we complain the most about it because I'm just like
I feel like
so-
everyone complains
I'm so
about it, so-
critical of Call of Duty.
Yeah, no, I
You know,
you're
it's
right.
I mean it's definitely a downgrade. It's like a downgrade from Modern Warfare with better shadows. That's basically what it is. It has better shadows than Modern
multiplayer
Warfare.
at 60 frames or no?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And I'm
What-
I think the multiplayer even has ray trace shadows too. Because you can
Cool.
use ray tracing for a lot of things. So you can use it for shadowing, which means like they're real time shadows now. So you don't get any anti-aliasing at all. There's no jagged lines on the shadows. Light sources, depending on how far away they are from like a person or an object, displays the real shadow. So if the light's really close to something, it's a hard black shadow. If it's far away, it's a nice light diffuse shadow that like fades into the color of like the wall or whatever. So you can use it for shadows. Miles Morales uses it for reflections. And I'm hoping that some games come out that use it for audio. So you get actual audio waves bouncing off walls.
Is that where Mark Cerny's talking about like the?
That's more or less what the Tempest audio engine is going to like
Because like I was just like,
do.
what?
But I don't think
What's this about ears?
Yeah, but I still don't think anything real. I don't know if any of the games actually take advantage of that yet.
Right, and that's kind of the thing. I feel like going back to Astro's Playroom, like that game like really takes advantage of what the DualSense can do.
Right.
And maybe we can talk about it. What do you think about the DualSense? Like now that
I think it's really cool.
I really like it. It's a step up from the DualShock 4.
Definitely.
The DualShock 4 was like, and the DualShock 3 were really like okay controllers. And I think at the end of the day, like people like the DualShock 4, but like it was still like I feel like I could like rip this thing in half.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of like a rinky-dink controller. The DualSense really feels like a piece of like a solid
Right.
piece of hardware.
It feels like how Xbox makes their solid controllers.
Yeah, I
It's
feel
like
like
it's basically equivalent.
the
now.
look of it's good.
Right.
One thing I actually, not a critique, but I'm just kind of like, I wonder what the thought process behind that was. The fact that thanks Gino, that the buttons aren't colored anymore. Kinda
Yeah, I don't
weird.
like that at
Imagine
all.
a new player
No,
looking
I actually
down.
hate.
It's the
I hate
the
that.
red, the pink
Right.
circle, and it's like, well, you tell a new person, they're all gray.
No, I hate that. They really
And
dropped the
you
ball
know
with
what I
that.
think it is? I think PlayStation. This is like kind of a hot take. It's it's hot. It's called a hot take.
This is like
So-
a conspiracy theory.
No, I think Sony is really catering to this hardcore gaming audience, and I don't think they're thinking about the newcomers. I think Xbox kind of is in a way. I think PlayStation
Oh, yeah.
this
No, I
generation
definitely agree with
is
that.
much beyond. We have this community of gamers that have been with us for years. They know how to play games. Let's get rid of the colors. Like I guarantee that was the thought process behind it. It just seems like it makes sense based on all their moves.
It's so weird. I don't know. I wish it was like, and I wish the little PlayStation button in the middle was the actual PlayStation, like red and yellow and green logo.
Yeah,
Some people have done that on Reddit.
I'm sure you're
and it
gonna
looks
get
so sick.
like we'll see what they do because I mean for now just comparing it to Xbox like the design labs right.
Okay, yeah.
So
right.
Xbox
You
kind of
can,
like
create your
the
controller.
program's on hold for now probably because they're gonna like the new controller has to be
Okay.
implemented. They're gonna add some more shit to it. I guess. Before you leave, you need to hold the Xbox Series X controller. It's solid, but I really hope Sony sees what Xbox is doing and be like, people want to customize their
Right.
controllers on that level and will pay the money. Do it. Don't just put out
Yeah, I hope
the
they
cool
do that.
colors that are cool, but like, I would love to just engrave my controller, make all that shit my
so
own
basically
color,
like
like
scuff,
my
like-
sticks.
like
my-
basically like a scuff controller.
yeah.
Like that would be awesome if they did that. Because like
I don't think they will, but like
Yeah, I don't know if they will either.
Like,
I think they're gonna like come out with different colors and be like, buy them for $75.
Sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they do. Like,
But the DualSense is cool. It feels much more solid. The touchpad, I feel like, is much more integrated to the rest of the controller design, unlike the DualShock 4, where like that bar just kind of felt like not tacky, but like it sticks out. Whereas like with the new one, it's you know, everything's white. How do you feel about like the white look of it all?
I love it. I think it's like sick.
Same. I really like it.
It's like futuristic or something.
And it's very just different. All the Sony consoles have been black, you know,
right?
For the most part.
I'm sure they're gonna make
the PlayStation 1.
sure they're gonna make a black one, and you can switch out the panels, so you can just put black panels.
Trio asked me, he's like, "Hey, you gonna like fucking like you know, like mod your PlayStation 5?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe if I get new ones, I'll do something to them or buy them, but like, I'm not really into that whole thing. Like, I don't want to like taint my console.
Right.
You
whatever that means. Pure. It's pure white. It's
right.
Pure of soul.
So you don't have the digital, right?
No.
Okay.
Hell no, dude. Stay away from that.
One complaint: it's fucking big. I feel like it's kind of hard to not knock its size because, like, you know, sorry again, we're sitting here looking at my setup, and I bought a new table to stand those consoles because I was like, this is how these things are marketed, and I feel like it looks better when it's standing up, both of them. And that's what I'm gonna do. And really, with any entertainment stand, there's no way you're standing your PlayStation 5 up.
Yeah, no. If you're trying to put it on your TV, there's no way you're doing that.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of like thinking like, what was the thought process behind that one? Like this thing, like, and especially compared to the Series X, which is kind of big, but it's like it's still like I feel like I wouldn't complain about its size.
The Series X is like symmetrical. It's like a rectangle.
Right.
The PlayStation just has like a weird like curvy shape.
Yeah, it's strange, and I think the digital looks better because the hard drive even makes it look bigger. And it's just kind of weird. Like, why would they make this thing so big? And
make it
like,
bigger. I don't know.
What in it is like makes it so big?
It's the fan.
One theory I had was we don't have power bricks anymore.
Right.
Especially like Xbox. The Xbox One had a power brick. I know the PlayStation did.
Yeah, but PlayStation hasn't had that.
Is that compensating for any reason? Like, is there like another like is power? Maybe I think the fan.
Well, there's some. Yeah, there's the fan is a big part of it. The fan is like huge.
Mm-hmm. Where is it?
I think it's right at like the top of the like that curved piece.
On the other side?
Yeah, right in the middle, the curved black piece. If you pull the panels off, it's literally like a giant fan.
Oh, I haven't taken them off. I don't want to.
I haven't taken them off either. I probably wouldn't. Yeah, I'd be like scared of doing that.
Yeah,
but if you just watch like any tech breakdown,
somebody fucking rip apart.
When you pull the panels off, it's like a full. The fan is massive.
So the fan with the Xbox is obviously the top.
Right.
There's a fan right there.
And then doesn't have like an intake like valve underneath, so it goes like in and then up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, the heating, the cooling like rods on the PS5 are huge too. That's like
I haven't heard that thing run like a jet engine and it hasn't overheated.
No, the only time it does, the only time you can actually like audibly hear it is if you're like downloading something. That's the only time.
Yeah, off a disc.
But when you're when you're playing a game, it's dead silent.
Yeah, I haven't. You know, we all know that PS4 was a fucking jet engine, and I think they kind of eliminated that issue with the PS5. I really haven't like been sitting there and like I'm just kind of zoned out, and all I hear is, I have
7.1 surround sound in my basement where I play my PlayStation, and the PS4 it would like overpower it, like because it's like right in front of me. I could like hear it from like 2 feet away. It was so loud, but this is dead silent.
So, what do you think about the home and all that, the interface for the PlayStation 5? We haven't really talked about that, and I think that's
pretty cool. It's like I don't know.
I really don't think it's that cool. It's cool looking. It's not intuitive.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Like it's cool. Things are cool. Like if you put a game on rest mode, and then you boot the console back up, the image of the game will be your background.
Yeah.
And I know with like I'm pretty sure with PS5 games, if you do that, I haven't tried that with Spider-Man. That's the one thing I haven't like tried.
What?
Is putting in a rest mode while you're just in the game, and then booting it back up, because like in the tech video that they made, they had Little Big Planet or Sackboy or whatever, and when you if you're just like in the game and you're not in the pause menu or anything, your character's like standing in the game, like standing there, and you put the PS5 in rest mode, and then you boot it back up, the background is live.
Oh,
It's a live
I always pause and go into
yeah,
rest.
it's live in-game background. So Sackboy will just be standing there, and all of like the moving pieces will be moving in the background, while you're navigating the home menu. So I haven't tried that. I don't know if I feel like it won't do that for Spider-Man. I don't know if it's specifically for Sackboy or is like the devs have to take advantage of that. I don't think Demon Souls would do that.
It might. No,
But
it's got all.
I did it with Ghost of Tsushima, and it's not live. It's just a paused image of Jin just standing there in like the field.
Mhm.
And then as soon as I click Ghost of Tsushima, I want to say like it doesn't even load. It goes right into the game, and then you're just like live. It's pretty cool. It's kind of
And
disappointing.
maybe if you have your games digitally, that might be different. There's
Maybe.
no like quick resume option
Yeah,
with
maybe.
PlayStation 5, which kind of sucks. One thing I really like about the Series X, if I'm gonna like talk about it real fast, you switch between games and like you can switch between like 7 games and like they
Right.
all left off where they are, and
Yeah,
that
sick.
is very cool. Like I'm like, Jesus Christ, like what have I been doing this whole time? It's like, yeah, you can like stop Gears 5 and like campaign, stop it, jump into Apex and jump back, and like you're right there.
But you have to primarily have digital games to do that, right?
No.
So you can do it with the discs,
Mhm.
but you still have to like sit. You
You have
put
to.
the
You
disc
still
in.
have to put the disc in, but the disc
It kinda
games it quick resumes.
Yeah.
It kind of defeats the
It
purpose.
defeats
yes.
like the gimmick like of it, but yeah,
Right.
it's still. I mean, the quick resume's really sick for digital stuff,
yeah.
and I mean, luckily the PS5 like doesn't.
They gotta get that.
I hope they do
They
get
gotta
it.
get it.
I hope they do get it, but you don't necessarily need it at the
You
moment.
don't
'cause
need it, but
it runs
it's
pretty
cool.
fast. Like,
It's cool.
because what I've been doing is I bought Black Ops digitally, and then
Okay.
like everything else is on a disc basically. So like if I'm like installing a PS4 game into my PS5, and I have to wait for it, I can just boot up Black Ops real quick, and like the main menu loads like instantly. Like
Yeah.
it loads really
Miles
fast.
and
so-
Demon Souls same way. Like,
Oh yeah, no, Miles is like
so
instant.
the loading screen for Demon Souls is kind of like when you fast travel, like a cloud of like smoke comes
Right.
up, but it's quick enough to it feels like it's like just a transition
Yeah, right,
screen,
right.
and that's all it is. It's like 1, 2, come up.
That's sick.
It's cool. Like I think they did the loading like well. Like they disguised it when it has to well. Going back to the UI, I don't like the game bar. I don't like the friends list. I don't like how they display trophies. I just think it's all like kind of backwards.
The friends list is a little wacky. Like
The recent parties, like fuck off. Like, can I just like
yeah,
put
no.
that at the bottom? Like, why don't I have a thing where it could be like what order things come
yeah,
in?
they
'Cause I
they better have like a patch where you can like customize. Like you can customize it a little bit. You can take stuff off the bottom home bar.
yes, I
You can
noticed that.
uncheck things, and I unchecked like a lot of it
Okay.
because it's really cluttered. But yeah, the game base, like you go in there, it's like recent parties. Like I don't want to see, like I'm trying to
why
see
do I
who's
want-
online. I want to see my friends. So you have to scroll down through like 6 like recent parties,
Yeah, I hate
and then
that.
your friends are there. The party system is definitely worse than PS4. Like
Well, they implemented that change like right before it came out, and everyone was like, "This is fucking stupid." And
Oh,
it is
yeah.
fucking stupid.
it's really like you
it
go
makes
in there.
sense in some scenarios, but not most, especially when you're just partying with your one friend.
They basically made it. Well, they basically made it like they're trying to make it like Discord or something. So like,
Right, it's
I
like
have like
groups.
5 friends in a group.
Right,
And like
you all join that.
yeah,
group.
I go in there and it just notifies anybody else who's online. It's like Tom joined the group chat.
Yeah, I don't think it's intuitive for what
But
consoles do.
but then when you're trying to leave, you have to go through 3 menus to get to the leave party button.
Every time I always get
I'm
lost.
like where like yeah, the
Or
first
could
time I
just
did it,
shut off.
I'm like what the fuck? Like where am I going here? Like
All right.
PS4 you go right into the menu and it says leave party right on your screen.
Yeah.
And I have to like look through the menu.
With trophies, every time.
I don't like the trophy. No, I don't like the trophies.
Every time I go into the menu, I have to hit earned date. I organize my earned date. Like what I
Right.
have the most recent and then goes back. So I don't have like whatever their order is every fucking time. I have to reselect it for every fucking game. Where PS4 was like, "Oh, you have earned date now every game like
Oh,
that.
really?
You can go back and forth and it's always on earned date."
Dude.
And I'm just like, "Dude, like stop." And the way they're listed is not
They're
intuitive.
horrible
for
the way
what-
they're listed. It's
for
like
when
on like
you're-
a square, then you have like shift sideways.
And there's like not enough displayed, like especially me because I'm looking at my trophies a lot and I'm like, okay, like what do I need to do? And I feel like I feel like just the way the menu is set up is not intuitive for me as a trophy hunter. Like for people who don't care,
Dude, like the
Probably
PS3
don't notice.
menu was like better.
right? It's just like what the fuck is this?
I wish they
man?
would have just went back to PS3. That was the best home menu they ever did.
It was pretty cool.
It's so simple. You're getting like little like ding 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 ding. Like there's just nothing.
And I mean,
like
I
that.
feel like that formula is still there in a way, but like not as much. It's definitely like a combination.
No, I just
of
feel like they're like they're, like,
PS4 and like new ideas.
yeah. I mean, it's basically like an updated PS4 thing that's like a little bit worse.
Yeah,
It's kind of like how I would describe it. Like it's
and you know,
the trophy menu's horrible, dude. Like it used to just go. You used to get like a big screen, and you can just go straight down the list.
right, and everything was crystal clear. And I
and
feel
the
like
platinum's
now
at the top, and they all go from there.
right.
And now it's like a bit. You have like it's literally like the Xbox menu. I feel like they're trying too hard to like emulate.
Not
like,
exactly.
the Windows 8 like architecture.
I see what you're saying. The Xbox like achievement setup and like their home and dashboard looks really nice, and like Xbox Series X to Xbox One, same thing.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it's much better because they actually like
Updated a lot.
yeah, they've been
man.
doing it for a while.
One thing
Like,
I
that's
don't
their
I
thing.
don't understand about PlayStation 5 why they don't update their home that much. They don't like Xbox makes changes every year and often with their dashboard, whether it's just the looks or like they're always like looking to improve it. But PlayStation, like they launched that thing and that's it.
I
There
do
you
like
go.
I do like how the store is integrated into the menu.
Yeah,
You just go over. it's
store is
very-
much better. That
very
was a
simple.
big complaint I had.
Nice
with
and
PS4.
fast, real easy. You can like find stuff pretty easily.
Yeah,
But like I also don't like when you like boot the console up, you're getting like a new like weird thing that they're trying to sell you every time.
oh, in the Explorer tab.
Yeah, I'm getting like Red Dead 2 with like some guy with a mustache. Like, what is this, dude? Like,
You don't like that mustache?
I just don't like. I was getting like NBA ads. I like booted up.
I don't-
like,
I don't
here we
play
go.
sports.
Like here I go, getting on Uncharted, and like the first thing I see on my screen, it's like buy NBA 2K21, and I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, what?
Do you speaking since I brought it up? Do you like that Explore tab?
I don't think
Where,
I've used
where it's
it
like
once.
giving you like trailers and stuff. Like for Miles Morales, it's updated a few times. Where it's like, oh, this is a trailer, and I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it. I'll be like, I'll explore.
I mean,
my,
it'll
my-
be cool if they like, like stuff actually gets announced. It's like Uncharted 5, and they like shove that in my face. Like that would be great.
One game I didn't talk about was Godfall. I don't know why I'm just randomly interjecting with this, but Godfall's cool.
Yeah,
That's it.
I would never play that.
It looks awesome. The graphics are awesome. The combat is sick. The story is the story, the narrative, and the world are what the issue is. They're like such a second
So it's
thought.
basically Anthem.
No, it's definitely better than Anthem. It's not a games as a service. It
Right.
looks like it. It's not. It's a single player co-op like looter slasher.
And everything's like integrated. Like you don't have to like pay for coins and shit.
Nope. They marketed that game real strange because that's how it looked.
It looks like a free to play game.
It kind
It
of
looks like Warframe or something.
yeah. I like it, and I kind of like. I was like, yeah, this looks cool. I'll take a chance on it.
Right.
And that's what I did, and I beat it. I enjoyed it. It's kind of like Borderlands, just like not as good.
There's another thing that people need to do. Another game.
But it looks great, and it chugs when you have to pick up a shit ton of loot
Right.
at the same time. Other than that, it runs real good.
God of War. Get the disc version
I have it.
and put it in your PlayStation. And
Oh
don't-
wait, you were telling me this.
do not patch it, and it runs at 4K,
Yeah.
60 frames.
So how do you not patch it? You just stop the download.
You either stop the download or turn off your internet, and it runs like insane.
Yeah, you sent
Like
me
that
video.
that game. That's one of like the few rare games where they completed the game and then launched it.
Yeah.
They didn't like release it and they were like, oh shit, we gotta like fix it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like the game was finished in patch 1.0, like when the game launched. So like you can play the game and basically just have no bugs. There like isn't bugs in that game.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I had any.
I don't think
issues
there's
with it.
bugs. I think I might have played through like half the game before the first patch came.
I feel like I play through most games though that don't like I don't have bugs in that maybe are like buggy, but like
maybe I feel like most Sony first party games are like that. They don't really have too many bugs. But when you're talking about like Ubisoft or something, they all literally always have like a 1.2 update, like
They're
2
not
days
even
after
in
the
the-
game
they're
launches,
not
like
even in the
Assassin's Creed or
conversation.
something.
they have some of those buggy games ever.
But yeah, it runs in 4K, 60 frames, and dude, HDR is built into the game. And a lot of the games patched HDR in. This one just has it built in. So you get the full experience. You get pure 4K 60 frames, and it's unbelievable.
I only played God of War once.
It literally looks real. It's unbelievable.
It's fucking Kratos is real, dude.
Yeah, it's so sharp.
I never replayed it. I played it once and that was it. Maybe I'll replay it again for when the next one comes out.
And like, yeah, and if you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, play that too.
I haven't downloaded it because I was playing Legends a lot before, which is really fun. You should check it out.
I can't believe you played Legends and not the game.
I did play the game.
I thought you said you didn't play it.
Oh, when I said that, I meant I didn't play it on PS5. Sorry. Yeah, I had the platinum trophy.
Oh, dude, play it on PS5. It's unbelievable.
See, and that's what I saved. I got to go back and replay it. I will be playing it.
It's so crystal clear and buttery smooth. It's like weird.
Yeah, and that game came out like not that it was like next gen ready, but it was.
It's basically a next gen.
And game. I feel like Sony kind of prioritized. Maybe not since we were talking, but like Sony may have been like, okay, like if you can, like see if you can get this like next gen ready because you're going to be launching close to next gen anyway. So maybe they focus.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's so weird that they did it with that game, and they did it with Days Gone, which like a game that like
who made Days Gone?
Sony Bend.
Okay.
So like
Sucker Punch.
It
Insomnia or Ghost.
It was it sold pretty well, but the critics hated it.
Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth between games.
But dude, playing that in 60 frames, it's literally a PS5 game. The graphics are so good. Riding the motorcycle in 60 frames with no glitches or anything, it's so smooth.
Did you have any console crashes or game crashes?
I had like the biggest like possible issue with Black Ops.
Oh no. Oh wait, I've heard some stuff.
And I'm gonna like warn everybody. I'm gonna try and explain it so like it doesn't happen to anybody else. Like if people are watching this to play Black Ops.
There's been a lot of issues on Xbox.
When you go into if you're trying to buy this on PlayStation 5 and you're buying it digitally, and you go into the PlayStation store, somehow I really hope they patched it by now because this is like such an issue. Somehow you can try and download the alpha version of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, because they had like an alpha playtest.
Right.
So it's still in the
alpha's still in the store.
It's still in the store. So I went in there and I was like, dude, what is this? Like, you're giving me like free Call of Duty? Like, what is this? Like a glitch or something? So it just says download. And it's under the Call of Duty Black Ops page. It doesn't tell you that it's the alpha. It just says Call of Duty Black Ops. So I was like, okay, download. And it goes error. Like, you're trying to download the alpha. This doesn't exist anymore or something. And I was like, oh, okay. So then immediately after, I went and bought the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
I found a different menu that I could buy it for like $70 or like whatever it cost.
Right.
So I go in like...
It was 70? 100%? Because Demon Souls was 70.
I'm trying to think.
I'm just asking for curiosity.
I forget if it was 70 or 80. I don't know.
It wasn't 60 though.
It might have been 80. I think it might be $80 because you get the PS4 version too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I download the entire game, and then on the PlayStation home screen, underneath like the box of like the Call of Duty Black Ops symbol, they're all in like little boxes for each game, and under each game, you should have the option that says play when it's installed.
Mm-hmm.
It like wouldn't give me that option. It was like locked. I couldn't play the game that I just spent $80 on because it thought I was trying to play the alpha because I clicked that button by accident. And it happened to people at IGN as well.
That already had it or did the same thing you
did the same thing.
Wow.
Like, I don't know if they did the exact same thing, but somehow it's happening to other people at IGN. And the only way to fix it is to factory reset your console. So I had to do that. After I had all the games already installed in there. It was great. Luckily, it only takes a couple seconds.
Great segue. We'll come back to this. I think the one issue with next gen is how much installing you have to do at the beginning, especially if you want to play games from last generation. Especially with the PS4, I spent 2 days, maybe 3 days, putting in Final Fantasy VII, Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, all these games that I'm like, I know I will play at some point. Right. I'm just going to download them now. And it took, not forever, but like you're downloading a lot of games that are big.
Right.
It's just like, this is taking fucking forever. Same thing with Xbox. I had to download pretty much everything I was playing. Red Dead, Apex, Gears, Master Chief Collection. These are huge fucking games.
Right.
And like most likely you're probably working from home or something. While you're doing something, if you don't have a console and you just get it and you're listening to this podcast, fucking start downloading games while you're not playing, because you're gonna be fucking waiting forever.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think that's like one of the biggest critiques of next gen I have. It's like there's a lot of downloading to start.
The thing that I suggest is that this works especially well if you have like your console plugged into an Ethernet cable and you have like decently fast internet. Download some kind of digital single player game
Right.
on your console. So then if you have digital games on the PlayStation Store that like you already bought, like PS4 games or something like that, and you're downloading them, while that's downloading, boot up the single player digital game.
And what he's saying is digital, because you can't download 2 physical games at the same time.
No,
obviously
you can't, but you can also do physical and play the digital game. So that's what I was doing most of the time. Like I would put in like the God of War disc or something, and I would wait for the download, like the patch download or something, to like download off the internet, and that usually only takes like 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
So once that would finish, it still has to install from the disc.
Yeah.
Which it'll probably take like it takes pretty long. Like it usually takes like 20 minutes or more, 20 to 40 minutes to like install a full disc or something. So the patch is installed, so I don't need the internet anymore. Then while I have the disc in the thing installing, I can like boot up COD that I bought digitally and either play single player or multiplayer, because it doesn't matter if I'm using the internet. And you'll be playing a game while your other game installs. It's like the easiest way to do things.
Yeah, you're on the money. Yeah, you just like, if you're trying to play and you're trying to download, you just got to be smart about how you're doing it, because like those downloads might take a little bit, and like obviously depending on your internet speed. We were talking about Black Ops crashes. So apparently, there's a big issue on Xbox where like you get to the last mission and it just like not bricks your Xbox, but like it just freezes every time. Yeah, it's a bit.
That's all right, because the last mission blows anyway.
So like one of my friends was like, every time I boot up Call of Duty and I enter this mission, it just
that would freak me out.
I would be like,
I would like throw in the trash.
I'd be so pissed.
Yeah, that's horrible.
That kind of shit, like, I hate that kind of crap where like it's like progress blocking.
I know,
shit like that.
That's terrible. I want to let's go back to the DualShock controller for a second, because there's some other DualSense. Again,
get it right, all right.
I'm like never gonna get it right.
I actually haven't been having too many issues with calling it DualSense.
I wonder what the next DualSense 2, like what's the next one gonna be called?
DualSense 2?
DualSense Ultimate.
DualSense Pro.
Yeah, the DualSense Pro. It'll have like I don't even know, like the controller like split in half, like the Switch controller or something. But yeah, like there's some other features on there that we didn't talk about, like the microphone. Like, have you used the mic to party chat?
I'm sure I did by accident.
Oh yeah,
because you joined a party.
Hello, and it's just unmuted already. You're like, what the fuck is this?
What?
Like,
it's actually a really cool. I'm glad you brought it up, because I totally would have glossed over that. That's a really cool feature that like I guess if like you're Jack Jilly and you're 5 years old and you get your console for the
you
first time,
don't want to buy extra headphones.
you have a mic on it, like it's kind of shitty, of course.
That is the
like,
number one best thing they've ever done on a controller.
It's kind of cool.
It's so sick.
Do you use it?
Yeah, I use it all the time.
Really?
I don't.
Nobody complains that you sound like shit?
No, because it actually not only has one microphone, but it has 2. It has a microphone on the bottom that is noise canceling. So if you have like sound playing out of your TV,
blowing out of your TV,
I don't know how I'm sure I sound like shit with my surround sound if I turn it up too high.
Yeah.
But if you just have like TV speakers or a sound bar or something, it'll cancel like pretty loud sounds and only project your voice through the microphone.
Have you like really tried to blow like let's see?
No, but I know I could definitely.
Let's see what you can do here.
I could definitely do that, because like I did that with the I would use the PlayStation 4 camera as my microphone. And that thing, dude, I could like blast people's ears with that.
I don't know if you were gonna get to it, but how do you feel about that? Like the triggers?
Yeah, the triggers are pretty cool.
Especially with Call of Duty.
Yeah,
with the guns.
I wouldn't suggest using them in multiplayer, especially if you're playing like extended periods, like extended hours. It kind of like it can like hurt your fingers.
You know what? With Spider-Man it doesn't do it in Demon Souls, but in Spider-Man it doesn't. I don't think it does in Godfall either. But Spider-Man, at first I was like, "What is?
Yeah.
Am I like? Is there like some resistance?" And I was like, "Oh no, it's that feature with the triggers."
Yeah.
And it's kind of it is a little weird to get used to because it does feel like you are forcing the trigger,
Right.
and you're like
you're
kind
gonna
of
like break it. Yeah.
And I could kind of see what you're saying with Call of Duty because you're constantly shooting.
Right.
It's not like you're constantly web swinging in Spider-Man, even though you kind of are.
Call of Duty is very weird. Like the Spider-Man one's pretty cool because I guess it's supposed to simulate those web shooters. Like you're actually clicking the button to like shoot the web.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. It's not very extreme. In Call of Duty, it's like pretty extreme. Where the thing that I don't like is that you pull the left trigger to aim, and that has resistance for some reason. I don't like that. Like
really?
Yeah. Like, and it has like more resistance than like the trigger that fires the gun.
So how do the guns feel?
I mean,
like,
it's
like the firing.
It's really cool when you're like you have to kind of like. I probably like press the triggers like way too hard. And I know that I've done that because I've broken a scuff controller with digital triggers. Like
How do you break a digital trigger?
I bought a scuff controller with digital triggers, so like you don't even have to like they're literally just buttons. Like you don't have to pull them all the way in. You just click it, and it fires like immediately the second you click it. Well, you know, I'm playing with the fucking thing, and I like
see that kind of feels weird. I feel like that'd be a lot to get used to, right?
Yeah,
because like you're used to
I'm not paying attention. And I'm like cranking that thing in, and I fucking like snapped it. I like snapped like the internal like mechanism because I pulled it like an actual trigger. So I already know that I pulled them too hard. Now when you're playing Black Ops, and you pull the triggers, like you kind of have to pull them lightly to get like the sensation of it like giving you like resistance. Like it'll like bounce off your finger like every time the gun fires. It's pretty cool. Like using it for story mode is fun.
It's very immersive, I bet.
Yeah, but if you pull the trigger like all the way in, then you don't really feel it too much because you're kind of like holding like that mechanism in too tight.
I wonder if we're gonna hear in a few months. Oh yeah, I broke my controller because of what exactly.
Yeah,
we're talking about.
I mean, people are thinking that it's not gonna last very long, which is very possible. Luckily, you can turn it off in the menu. You can like turn the stuff off in the settings.
Yeah.
You can do it in the game, in the Call of Duty game, and you can do it in the PlayStation.
I'm the kind of person who's like, I want to like have the full experience.
Right,
so, like,
right,
I would
right.
never turn it off.
Yeah, but I mean, for multiplayer, it's horrible. Like you're like at a disadvantage. It's like really weird in multiplayer.
Right, because you're moving quick.
Yeah, playing it in single player is really cool. It's like adds another like immersion layer to it. Like you can just feel the gun every time you fire.
Yeah, and I wonder what games like I know we're at the beginning of a console generation, so a lot of games might take advantage of these gimmicks. I wonder if we're in 2 years from now, like are consoles going to take advantage of that? Kind of like the same thing with the PlayStation 4 controller and like the blowing and the mic,
right,
and the swiping.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Like they were like infamous Second Son, like was infamous for having like the spray paint and
the spray. Yeah, Infamous has a spray paint. Killzone Shadowfall has the touchpad.
Right.
Which, by the way, Killzone Shadowfall also runs at full 60 frames locked on PS5.
Nice.
And that game still looks great. Like I have that installed and I was playing it. Like loads and like very quickly. It's so nice looking. But yeah, I don't. I hope they use the touchpad more.
We'll see. Because again, a lot of games just like ended up just making it a select
for some
button.
reason. Like Sucker Punch is like the only one that gives a shit. And they're like, yeah, you want to play like a game in Japan? Oh, you can just swipe left and bow to whoever the hell you want to, or you can like swipe right and play the flute.
Trying to think what games really utilized it, and I'm like
that game,
yeah,
like
for
that's
sure.
that.
I don't think Death Stranding did anything with it.
You could like kind of like touch it and tilt the controller to look at the map.
Oh, right.
To see like elevation.
Right.
But I didn't
remember that. I didn't do that too much.
I didn't really like that because like you couldn't. I wanted the ability to make the map like tilt it all the way like flat so I could see the mountains, but you kind of like it only tilts like so far.
Right.
It's like diagonal.
It doesn't do this. It
weird.
just does like that.
It's very like gimmicky.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a lot of games take it like Naughty Dog. I think you just tap it for the backpack in Last of Us.
Yeah. That's it.
And that's
it just became the select button.
And it just became like the map. Yeah, basically select buttons, maps for most games.
So we'll see what devs are gonna utilize it or try to take advantage of.
I don't think they'll ever use like the
technology.
blowing stuff. That's pretty cool. You know, that's like Nintendo.
Astrobot does a lot of that stuff, right?
Yeah,
with the
right,
gimmicks,
right.
with the controller,
you could, like,
which is
blow,
cool because
you blow and like the vines move.
right, because I guess you're seeing like the Astrobot playroom is kind of like okay, like this is like what the DualSense
Yeah,
can
they're
do.
putting it to like the max. They're showing you like what the max like amount of stuff.
Right, but like what games are going to take advantage of that? Probably only 25-50%.
I know. I have a feeling this is like a big rumor that's happening. Is that Guerrilla Games is going to reboot SOCOM?
Really?
And
really after Forbidden West, or right now, that studio's got to be pretty big.
No, it's a second team.
Really?
So yeah, so Guerrilla after they made Horizon. They started hiring people
because Shadowfall was not a big seller.
Right, and this is a pretty like the rumor is always like kind of like floating around for SOCOM on PS4 and
I
stuff.
think we need more FPS games,
dude.
That's
you don't know how bad I want to see a Sony FPS.
I feel like you obviously you just said it. You agree with that, but like I always am like I crave a new Battlefield and I want a good Battlefield. I don't want.
And then
Battlefield
every time
5.
it comes out, it like sucks. And
right, Battlefield 1 was okay, but
it was all right.
I feel like another shooter that isn't Call of Duty needs to fucking like. There's a market. Like there's this like space that Call of Duty's here, but like there's the rest.
Dude,
of
PS3 was full of that kind of stuff, and that's why it was.
But a lot of duds, a lot of duds,
but like a lot of like weird, like off the beaten track, like FPS games, and you play it, and you're like, okay, this game's like unbelievable.
Right, and you play a ton of those.
Yeah,
and it's kind of sucks that like a lot of them just don't have this like mainstream appeal, which I wish they did. Like I liked Battlefield because of like the scale and like the sort of not realistic quality, but I felt like it was a lot more immersive than Call of Duty. And that's why I liked it. Like let's get boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Let's get boots on the ground. Let Battlefield go back to modern war.
I think that's what it's gonna do.
Because I sometimes I'm like, fuck, man. I could really just go like I just want to use like an M4 or like a gun. That,
well,
exists.
I definitely think that's what they're doing.
So go back to the SOCOM thing. Sorry.
So the SOCOM rumor is that after Horizon was such a commercial success that they moved to a larger studio. They moved to a larger building and started hiring people for a second team to work on like a separate project.
Makes sense.
Now, the people that are part of this team, there's ex-Rainbow Six devs. There's actually an ex-SOCOM, an original SOCOM dev on the team who was like lead multiplayer designer or something. Then they got a guy who came off of Rainbow Six Siege.
Do you like Siege?
Not any. I liked it when it like launched.
Really? That's the one a lot of people didn't like.
They added too much stuff to it.
That game got big.
It was very simple at launch. Like it was just like team on team, and like you could count people.
Now there's all these characters.
Now it's like you walk in the door and you get zapped in your head. Like it's it's horrible. There's too much stuff. But yeah, so they got an ex Rainbow Six guy. So there's 2 or 3 like third person like tactical shooter like dev people on this team.
Well, that's good.
And
I don't know much about SOCOM.
And they keep putting like job listings up, and it's like the next like generation of like shooter experience or something. So
that sounds fun.
It can only be one of 2 things. It's either SOCOM
or a new IP.
No, or a Killzone reboot, like multiplayer reboot. What are you making noise at Killzone?
I don't think we need more Killzone.
Dude, don't tell me you don't like Killzone.
I've never played it.
Oh my god!
I just feel like it's like that and Resistance. Kind of, I felt like we're like on such a cadence that like everyone just kind of was like, yeah, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, but no, dude.
Do you like Resistance?
Yeah, Resistance is sick. I never got into that, but I played like Resistance 3, which I feel like that's like the worst one. Everybody liked Resistance 2, I think.
And Resistance 1. I remember playing Resistance 1 in Micro Center when like PS3 first came out. I think it was like the multiplayer, and I was like, whoa.
Which is it 1 or 2 that had the multiplayer that had like 200 players in it?
Isn't that like MAG?
No, this was
You know what MAG is, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I played the shit out of MAG. Reboot that,
Fucking
Sony.
MAG.
What are you doing? Reboot that with PlayStation 5 graphics.
No,
please.
so I don't know.
So yeah, it's
see, like I'd rather see a new IP than see Killzone try to like do it again, because I feel like Shadowfall in a way was sort of, it wasn't a reboot, but it was like far enough divorced from Killzone 3 that they kind of like rebooted it in this like. It's like more futuristic.
I want Killzone 2 back. I want a reboot of Killzone 2 specifically, and I want to like. This is all I have to do to make a good Killzone game. You give me Killzone 2, and let me play as a separate squad than the rest of the, of the main cast of Killzone 2 and 3. Because Killzone 1's kind of irrelevant. Like, you just play as, like, Colonel Templar, who shows up in the second game, but you don't get to play as him.
Yeah.
Rico's in 1 too. But
I watched a video essay on it recently. I'm trying to think who did it.
Killzone 1's pretty cool. I played it, and, like, I didn't beat it, but it's hard, man. That game is hard, but it's cool. But Killzone 2 is, like, where it really, like picked up steam. But all I want them to do is, like, create new characters and put me in the same battle as Killzone 2, because, like, you invade the Helghast, you invade Helgon, like the Helghast planet.
Yeah.
So I want to play that same battle, but as in a different perspective of a different squad.
See, will that sell though? Will that idea
I think it would, and I want them to, because Killzone 2 had the best multiplayer out of all of them. Like, the maps were huge. They looked like the graphics were so good back then, dude.
I feel like Guerrilla found a nice groove with Horizon, but I don't want 7 million Horizons. I really don't.
I really don't think they're gonna reboot Killzone. I think they're rebooting SOCOM.
Is Forbidden West look interesting to you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because, like, as of now, I'm not, like, into it.
Right.
I liked Horizon a lot, but
I just don't.
The open world third person games, as I've critiqued Sony before, they need to fucking, like, just do different games that aren't third person action games. Uncharted, Last of Us, Spider-Man, that's Horizon.
Yeah,
there's so many.
No, I agree. Like, they need to bring. They have. There's a huge exclusive FPS market just sitting there waiting for them. Like, give me something unbelievable.
That gold mine really hasn't been tapped in a while.
Give me, like, an Uncharted, Last of Us 2, like, graphically type experience where I have a gun in my hand. I would, like, throw up. That would be unbelievable. Like, if they did something like that, like, if they made, like, Sucker Punch make, like, an FPS, it would be unbelievable. It would fucking crush Battlefield and Call of Duty.
I want them to bring remaster the Sly games, bring that collection to PS5. You play Sly Cooper back in the day?
No, I haven't.
Dude.
But there is a Sly Cooper Easter egg in Ghost of Tsushima.
I know. Yeah. I'm just like, where are those old games? I mean, I know the third person, but, like, Ratchet and Clank kind of has a space now. The new one looks sick. I can't wait for it. But I'm just like, and, like, maybe Toys for Bob is gonna do another Spyro game because that collection did so well.
Dude, a new Spyro game. Look,
would be cool. They did Crash after the collection did well.
Okay.
I'm sure that's in the conversation. Why don't we do a new Spyro game? The collection did well.
Are they still under Activision? Because that would be like a pretty cool thing if, like, Sony, like, bought back the rights to, like, Spyro and Crash.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess Activision does still own them.
That would be so cool if they, like.
Is Crash exclusive? You don't know.
I think it is.
I think it is.
I think it's like
the new one is.
Yeah, they, like, pay them to, like, make it an exclusive.
But Crash was always an exclusive, so.
Yeah, right.
That doesn't really count. Spyro. Actually, I think Spyro was, but Spyro's on everything. I think.
Spyro's like a PS1 and.
But I would love to see a new Spyro game.
That'd be cool.
I would love to see what they do. The remaster was a lot of fun, a lot of like nostalgia memories. I think PlayStation, like, has a lot of room, like we've kind of been talking about, to do a lot of different things on the PS5. The question is, are they willing to take those risks?
I hope so, dude.
Like, even Death Stranding, love it, but it's a third-person action game. Like, all their hits are third-person action games. Days Gone. Like, I could go on and on and on. I just, like, I want to see different games. And I know Xbox doesn't necessarily have those games right now, but I will at least give them the benefit of the doubt that they do different things than third-person action games. They're not, like, totally double-downing on.
That's why you're gonna get SOCOM, a third-person shooter.
But maybe it'll be first person.
That would be fucking wild, and people would not.
Didn't they do that for Medal of Honor? Wasn't Medal of Honor third?
No,
it was always first.
No, yeah, it was always first person. Yeah.
Okay.
I wish they would reboot that.
The Rainbow Six.
The
Rainbow
VR game looks
did
cool.
The Switch.
Yeah.
Rainbow Six was third person, went to first,
yeah.
and Siege is very popular, even though you don't like it.
I liked it when it was like an actual SWAT game.
Now it's like
a fake
Overwatch.
Yeah, now it's like
Overwatch
playing like
Siege
it's like
6.
Apex Legends with like a M4.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like,
Apex is good.
You can literally play as a pizza slice.
What?
You can play as a pizza slice.
What?
I'm not even joking.
You can play as a pizza slice?
Yes, you can wear a pizza slice costume and breach a house. What is that?
The characters are all kind of interesting from what I've seen. They're like,
yeah, they were interesting when the game came out, and it was like,
They're like
this guy's a Russian SWAT officer. I was like, oh, he's cool. He has like a Russian gun.
right.
This guy's an American SWAT officer.
They're based off of nationalities.
Yeah,
they get
and now
kinda
it's like,
crazy.
oh, you can play as a pizza man. You can wear a pizza costume and like kick a door in. Dude, give me a break.
All right. Yeah, so I guess for kind of closing thoughts, the PS5 is good. I think its interface has some issues. Oh, we were talking about crashes.
Yeah.
I had real quick. I had a crash. Miles Morales crashed on me. I had the charger issue, and I had one real hard crash. I was playing Godfall. The whole system shut off.
Don't like that.
Yeah, and I was like, ugh, and I turned it back on, and it took a while, but it booted up, and it was fine.
I also heard.
It was
I
like
heard
the first week.
the Spider-Man remaster has been like crashing systems.
I think I heard that too.
So like, be careful of that.
So-
You want to stay away from that. It's not worth it anyway.
This shit is to be expected, but like I'm more nervous about the console hard crashes than I am about the game hard crashing.
Right.
Anyway, back to final thoughts. I think the PlayStation 5 is good. It has the games at launch. You have a diverse selection of games, especially if you're like gifting. Like Miles Morales, Astro's Playroom is already on it. It's free. Sackboy, Demon Souls is definitely for the adults, the hardcore, the hardcore gamers. Yeah, the interface, it needs some work. It's all right. It's not even as intuitive as PS4, but again, I think a lot of people are coming to the PlayStation 5 for the games, and I think it does have those.
Definitely.
And who knows? I don't really know what's next down the pipeline. Like I don't know what's coming out next besides Cyberpunk. I don't really know what is in Q1. I have no fucking
I think
idea.
Horizon is.
I think Horizon will be a May game.
Yeah.
Like it was originally.
And Gran Turismo. They're apparently coming very soon.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Closing thoughts for me.
Yeah.
The system is fucking great. It's really cool, but I agree with you that the interface definitely needs some work. Now, is that something that they could?
Are they going
to
to
fix that?
do it?
I feel like they won't.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll maybe just like
Exactly.
add things to it, make it run a little bit smoother, but they're not gonna like add any like they're not gonna like change the way it looks really. So we're pretty much like set with that for like eternity.
Yeah, see you in 7 years.
Like buy the PS5 for Sony exclusives, and if you want to play your PlayStation games backwards compatible, because a lot of them are cool. Like even like Last Guardian, I forgot to mention Last Guardian.
Yeah, I saw you playing that.
That game, if you install that game, you have to have it on disc, put it in your system, and install it. Don't patch it again, and that runs in 1080p, 60 frames locked. Which that game had trouble at 30 frames on PS4 Pro.
Yeah, I remember.
So it's really cool, like playing it in 60 frames.
One thing I wanted to mention that we've mentioned, but we haven't directly said it. Storage is a huge issue with next gen. These games are way too big. Like right now, Sony doesn't have an external option, so you're fucked. You have to delete games when you.
Yeah, they're still waiting to announce like what external SSDs. Or they're going to be internal SSDs. You can like plug them into the system.
Yeah, that's how
but which
Xboxes
ones will be
are.
compatible?
Right.
I'm definitely going to buy like it'll probably be like a fucking waste of money, but I'll buy like the biggest one possible.
I think 3 to 2 terabytes is good because that's what I have. That's both like my consoles are on that bottom shelf. Both the externals are
I
still
had 3
there.
terabytes,
but now they're fucking useless. I have 2 external drives that are pretty much like what. Okay.
I think the PS5 games might end up being a little bit smaller than the PS4 games because I think they made the compression technology better. They can compress the files a little smaller.
Because between the Xbox and the PlayStation, these games are huge, man. They're so big.
Yeah, the PS4 games are massive.
It's an issue when your storage is fucking a terabyte.
Yeah, it's
like,
and it's not even
both my Xbox and PlayStation are already almost filled.
But dude, the PlayStation's not even a terabyte. It's 630
yeah, because
gigabytes.
like it takes half.
Yeah, the operating system needs like 200. Like, like it's crazy, dude. Like 200 gigs to run the operating system.
Yeah, so
that's one of the reasons
I wanted to make that point because that's a huge issue with next gen is storage. But
yeah, like definitely, like I would buy like an Xbox if you want to play third party games. Because most of the games are enhanced for like 4K.
Right.
They have that auto HDR, which enhances a lot of games that don't have HDR.
Great. You're doing wonders, man.
It's
Another
really cool.
point I forgot to bring up. yeah, the third-party games, the last generation games, I feel like are played better on the Xbox.
Definitely.
Because like
For sure.
like PlayStation like already had like a fucking like conniption like telling us that PlayStation 4 games played on PS5. They waited till like 2 weeks before the fucking console came out to tell us why that wasn't like the first thing they
Dude,
said.
they didn't fucking tell us shit. Like
God only knows. God only
everything that I
fucking
found
knows.
out about like what's backwards compatible has been through like the internet.
Right. And
So they didn't tell
and
me
mostly
anything
everything
like that.
is.
Yeah, it's-
Why that communication was fucking hard for them, I don't know.
don't know.
I don't understand. The Xbox is the place to play those last generation games because they may not have the XS support because a lot of games like it tells you if it's
Oh,
if it's
I
updated,
see. Right.
fully optimized for next gen, but every game will play faster and play better on Xbox,
Yeah,
whether it's
that's sick.
optimized or not.
Yeah.
So like that's something that like PlayStation doesn't have. Like with the Kingdom Hearts rhythm game that you'll be like, what?
I can't believe you're playing that.
It's awesome.
Your PlayStation deserves to be like supernova when you like boot that up. That's like what you deserve for playing that.
This is the that's like and telling anyone who doesn't play Kingdom Hearts is like, what? It's like,
Yeah,
dude,
like-
it's fun. Relax, all right.
And then one more thing I want to say about the PlayStation. Finally, dude. Finally, they have a 4K Blu-ray player
oh, I
built
know.
into the system.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I'm so happy. I've been waiting for that.
I watch
since the-
everything on Xbox, so I don't really use the PlayStation.
I've been
for
waiting
that
that since the Pro launched
Yeah.
because I had to go out and buy a 4K Blu-ray player. Now I just have an extra.
What a
Blu-ray player.
weird thing that
Useless.
like
They literally own Blu-ray. Like I don't know what the
that you
problem
like
is.
that you probably like don't care about at first, and then you're like, oh, I want to watch like a 4K Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's like,
movie, and
sorry,
then
you have a
don't
PS4 Pro?
Yeah.
Nope, not for you.
Right. That was a
great.
big thing. That was just like, what a fucking like weird decision with the PlayStation 4 that
Yeah.
just didn't have a 4K Blu-ray player. Like, why not?
Horrible.
Fucking dumb.
Yeah, but that's a big feature.
But anyway, good luck getting one, because
Yeah, it's-
like seriously, like this is obviously we're recording this before Christmas. I getting this holiday season is gonna be tough.
They got to crack down on the
And that's
the
another thing.
scalpers.
But like, right,
Really hard.
scalpers are a big issue. Like, I don't know if I would put in a negative is like the availability of it, because like COVID definitely has something to do with it, obviously.
But I don't understand why they don't sell them on their website. Why can't I just go on Sony.com and pre-order a PlayStation, and then like when they're available they send it to me? Like, why are they
I
sending?
don't know why
them through-
Microsoft doesn't.
Why
do
are they
that
like
either.
jerking it off to Walmart and like Best Buy? It's mostly Walmart. Like I don't even know if Best Buy's gone up like recently.
I got my Xbox off Best Buy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm saying like I don't know if Sony's been like doing Best Buy. I haven't seen any like recent things. Like I've just
don't
been
know.
seeing them go up on Walmart and then people getting fucked because like Walmart's like a shit website.
Yeah, so if you're lucky like me and Tom, you don't have to worry about this stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine like being some of our friends who didn't get next gen right away, and it's just like, yeah, you're kind of fucked, or
Yeah.
you really got to like try really hard. Like you got to follow the Twitter accounts or like the forums
Literally.
that are like reporting on that stuff like the second it happens, because like the
unbelievable.
scalpers and then you're competing with everyone else, and you know my mom.
You're
We're
competing
try-
with Gooch's mom.
we're trying to buy a fucking PlayStation for whoever. My mom's not trying to do that, but like, you know, everyone else's mom and dad. Anyway, that does it for me. You got anything else before we wrap up? I know we just kind of we're doing final thoughts, but I just want to make
yeah.
sure.
I don't know. I mean, it's just a cool system. Like, hey Sony, please enhance Uncharted 4 to 60 frames, please.
There you have it.
Please, I'm begging you.
There you have it. Guys, thank you for listening to Delco Nerd Network. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Delco Nerds, or Facebook, just search Delco Nerd Network, you'll find us. Twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network, where if you're watching live right now, hey, thank you very much. You can follow us there. Like I just said, twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network, at youtube.com/Delco Nerd Network, or just search us on your favorite podcast service, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, you know, I guess wherever you get your podcast, we're probably there. You can find all this info, www.delconerdnetwork.com. That's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Stay nerdy. Hope you get a PS5.